All right, a lot of choppy action in the market. I'm showing you the SPY here. A couple days in a row where it had kind of decent ranges, but ended up closing about where it opened. So I mean, it's just choppy on an intraday basis. Not the best day trading environment, but we're still finding things. I just don't have I don't have a lot as far as setups on the overnight. So gap plays are pretty important, and I'll talk about that in just a minute. But here's the list for Friday. GLBL kind of sitting at a 2-day high here. I'm not in love with this one, but it tends to move with TERP, and TERP is also on the list. You had this big volume spike, then an inside day today, so looks good over today's high, over 1117. Could push it through 1159, and then maybe who knows, right? So GLBL, TERP, both on watch. EYES, one of my better trades today, and still looks really good. It might need to rest for a day or two, but certainly looks good over over this last week's worth of trading's high. But again, 635 was today's high, and it made kind of a big move from 520 something all the way to 6. That's a big percentage move in a pretty short period of time. So made some really nice money on that one today. But again, I think that might need to come in for a day or two. Still goes on watch, okay? And it'll be on watch for the next several days. GIGA had the gap up on a contract with, I think, Lockheed Martin, if I'm not mistaken, and then straight down. Then it finally bounced, and now you've got a couple days where it's sideways. So if you switch to 15-minute candles, it's not that hard to see that it's found support at this $1.80 area. Then it spiked, and then back down to the mid $1.80s, and then you had a little spike this afternoon. So here's some numbers I like. I like it at 210. Let me write this down here while I'm making the video. 210. Which would be a break of today's high. And then the secondary, and I'll go back to the daily here. The secondary catalyst would be a break of this spike here, which would be 224. So you have stacked catalysts here, okay? So I'm looking for a 210 and maybe a move through 224 and starts heading back up. So it looks pretty good here. SUNE. Moving up and out, you had the big volume gap up 2 days ago, a quiet day today, and then moving up and after hours on some news. And actually, as I'm jabbering here, it's trading at 443. So with 15-minute candles, it's trading up over the high of the gap up day yesterday. So SUNE goes on long watch. We'll probably trade that as a gap play tomorrow if it gives me the proper setup. JGW, big volume for this stock. Now that's relatively speaking, it's a lower volume stock, but big volume spike a couple days ago and a couple lower highs. So I think this one might turn back up. It's worth watching. PIRS, no trade in this one today. Had it on watch, but it never gave a proper setup. So you've got a high, lower high, lower high. Switch to 15-minute candles. You can see the push and then kind of the trend line, the flag, right? So again, back up near, back up near the high 280s. It's interesting. Remember, I don't live and die by these numbers I put in this video because it might open at 3, it might open at 2. I don't know what it's going to do and what the overall market's going to do. So that's just kind of a guideline, but it'll have to give a proper intraday setup, and the market will have to be with me as well. Electronic Arts, just another red day, very close to the 200-day now. I think that's, it just goes back on bounce watch. That's EA. It gave no trades today. Let me try that again. VRA had this big breakout yesterday, and then kind of a lower volume, quiet inside day. A lot of times the third day it gets going again, so I'm going to put that one on watch. And real quick, just to show you what I mean, we didn't even have GoPro on watch today. This is what I mean by gap plays. I didn't even have GoPro on watch, GPRO. And it ended up, but we put it on watch in the pre-market when we saw it gapping. Okay, we saw the volume in the pre-market. It popped up here and then kind of started flagging. One of our members, Nick, pointed this out, and it hadn't gone this high yet. It was kind of at 1762 when Nick pointed out. I looked at it real quick and said, "Yep, that's breaking a little intraday flag." And it was 1765 when I got on the mic, and I told everybody, "I like it here, 1765." Get in before the high of day break, and your stop goes below this candle at 1750. So that's a 15-cent risk. Goes up over $2 from there. So a really nice short squeeze today in GoPro. There's an example of something that, and when I have a watch list like today that I'm not really in love with, I'm always hopeful that there'll be some nice gap plays in the morning. We can make some money there too. So, we always look for those in the pre-market. We work together and build a list. But hopefully some of these on the regular watch list from this video will pay us tomorrow as well. All right, I'll leave it at that. Have a great night. Talk to you tomorrow.